Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Daffy's Roundtable. Today, I'm joined by JF of Beauregard Reptiles and Eyal and Rebecca of The Responsible Reptile. We are back for Acanthosaura Roundtable Part 3. This is a very delayed episode. We should have done this months ago. Part 2 came out a year ago, but we are back to update you on all our mountain horn dragon projects, what's happening, what's been happening since Part 2, and future plans. There's a lot of really good information in this. If you're an Acanthosaura keeper, if you're a mountain horn dragon keeper, you will really enjoy this episode. And there's a lot of really good information in here. But before we get to the mountain horn dragons, allow me to thank Acanthosaura for sponsoring this podcast and making this episode possible. Acanthosaura makes quality products for our pet reptiles to make them feel at home. Okay, before we jump into the mountain horn dragon talk, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to give us a follow, and I always appreciate comments. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate it, and it really helps the podcast out. Okay, without further ado, everybody, please help me welcome Beauregard Reptiles and The Responsible Reptiles, and let's get to talking about mountain horn dragons. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
How is everyone doing? We are back for a very delayed, this should have happened months ago, part 3 of the Acanthosaura Roundtable. And
Yes, indeed.
out of the way now, so everyone can see Eyal and Rebecca in full. I guess before we get going, how's everyone doing? How is everyone's mountain horn dragons doing?
They're doing great.
They're hanging out?
Speak for yourself, girl. Speak. say, I'm good. I'm good.
He's happy.
That's awesome.
She's still a girl.
It's really cool because Rebecca has one of my babies, and I have one of their babies on my shoulder. So
Look at that.
Mhm.
Cross-provincial trade.
Great.
Yeah.
Cross-provincial
The
trade.
barriers are off. Yeah.
No tariffs.
Funny. Yeah, for now. That's funny. Cool. So last time, as we were updating everyone, as Rebecca just reminded us, we were all, I guess, having a bit of bad luck with the mountain horn dragons, which is normal considering we're all kind of still learning the species and there isn't any information out there. But this is exactly why we do this, so we can bring everyone the information and our mistakes, as well as now that it's been, I'll need to check when the last one was, but now that it's been a while, I know you guys have had some success. I have not had any babies hatching, but the dragons are doing okay, which I'm going to consider a success. So let's kind of just jump right in. Eyal and Rebecca, what's been going on?
So, all the first colony of lepidogasters are in a better place. And they left us, Red left us this one.
When you say better place, as in they passed away, not rehomed, right?
No. Well, rehomed to Acanthosaura Haven.
Yeah.
Cool. But now you have quite a few baby lepidogasters, right?
Yes, so we have 4 CBB, the one that this random blogger gave us back. And we will not name names.
I think yeah.
It's named after the blogger. And from Lily, who was the first girl that we got. And then we have these 3. This is one of 3 from Red that also passed away. Their dad is still with us. So it's funny because males are stable. I'm still with the 2 males that I started with 2 years ago. Females are not making it. But now we have 4 CBBs, we have 2 wild-caught breeder males, and 5 wild females that are all doing great. And I think I have a good gist of how to keep them alive.
Awesome.
So-
And this is all lepidogaster, right?
I'm currently putting my focus on lepidogaster, so I'm not going to rehome my natals. I'm going to keep them. But after my females pass away, I will not get new wilds. Maurice would be the stud muffin, and
The stud.
we'll keep females from our current CBB, and Natals, I'll have probably one colony. I'll put my focus on the Lepidogasters because they're easier on space, and there's not enough people breeding them.
Yeah. But before we go any farther, what species do you currently have from the Acanthosaura genus?
From the Acanthosaura genus, we have one couple of Natalia and one male of Natalia. We have Armata, one couple. The guy just matured. Now he developed these big cojones. And Lepidogasters, we're exploding with
Yeah.
Lepidogasters now.
Awesome. And JF, what about you in terms of the species?
I have the Natal dragons and 2 Lepidogasters. Your male that you generously sent my way, and Eyal's baby, one of the first CBBs that Eyal produced. But just males, same issue here. The females passed away. I guess lucky enough, before she passed away, she laid 3 eggs, which have hatched. So I have 3 CBB babies, Lepidogasters. As far as the Natals go, I was in the process of moving, and it was not the best situation, so I didn't have great luck with the babies. So I only have 3 babies that are left from the second batch of baby, the second clutch, which is quite unfortunate. But they're doing well, and from what I can see, from what I believe, however, they all look like males based on coloration. So it's weird. I don't know if there's something that we don't know to produce more females, but yeah.
I wonder if it's the temperature of incubation.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I thought that there was a correlation that we could probably identify the gender of the babies looking at their coloration when they hatch, and then that theory went down the drain because this lizard was one of the dark babies, which I thought would produce females, and right now looks like we got a male as well. There's going to be an orange phase, I think, from what I can see.
Interesting. But you've currently had 2 successful clutches of Natals.
Yep.
And Eyal and Rebecca, how many from the Natals have you guys?
We are at clutch 2 from Inanna and 1 from, well, there will be no more clutches from Grumpy that you surrendered to us. So,
That she gave us.
but Junior is awesome, and he's fertile. If anybody has a female,
So we have
Cool.
5 from Inanna right now. The babies that we have right now.
babies
5
right
from
now we
Inanna.
have 5 from Inanna and
2
2
from
from
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Yeah.
And Lepidogasters is a whole different story.
Cool. Okay. So I'll quickly jump in here, and I'll kind of give my quick update as well. I when we did the last episode, I had the Capras, the Natal, and the Lepidogaster. I don't think we had picked up the Armatas yet, if I'm not mistaken. But
I don't think so.
yeah. So anyway, so I've decided to kind of switch my focus, mainly due to my travel schedule. I don't think I'm being fair enough to the animals, so I've kind of rehomed a lot of the lizards. So as you guys already heard, JF got one of the Lepidogasters, and then you guys got your baby Lepidogaster that you produced back, and the pair of Armatas that I had. So I currently only have Capras, and I have one female Armata, 2 males, and a baby that still hasn't shown whether it's a male or a female. But that's actually very interesting as well, because it's quite old. It's like getting to around 2 years now and still hasn't. Yeah, so that's a whole nother conversation that we can get into later down the line. But maybe since Natals are one of the common species here, why don't we start off with Natals? I guess we were already talking about them, but we'll just continue talking about them.
Yeah.
So I had that pair for a very long time. I don't remember how long I had them, but a very long time. And first of all, like, I couldn't get them to even come near me. They were always angry, and they were always trying to bite, and there was no breeding behavior whatsoever. Eyal and Rebecca,
That's
you guys.
also because you never you fail to understand the idea of sexual activity. They need to be in the same tank for this.
Right. I had them separated for a very long time. Yes. I did have them separated for a very long time because I was worried. But I was putting them in together every now and then separating and then putting them in.
Yeah, you see, if I take you and put you with the female, and I'm like, Fadi, like, you know,
But we
you can't
got
pressure things.
we got babies from that.
You don't know me.
We got babies from that couple actually.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. So that's
Yeah.
exactly where I was going with that. So you guys got babies from that
Yeah.
pairing. What was there anything other than putting them together? Because obviously that's the first step. Was there anything different that you guys did once they came
Yes.
into care?
The heights.
Yeah. So
The
they were
height
in
of
a
the
2x2x4
Yes.
Mhm.
instead of the 3 foot.
The height really matters for them.
Besides that, nope.
So there wasn't a change in frequency of spraying. There wasn't a change in temperature. There was just they lived together, and it was a bigger or taller enclosure.
I'm not sure it matters. The
Size doesn't matter, yeah.
wow.
Wow, depends who you ask, you know. Really
A
depends.
father and a teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Ah.
Yeah, what about, sorry, JF, what about yourself? What size enclosure are you keeping your Natals in?
I have 3 adults, so a pair and a lone male. The pair is in a 4x4x2, and they live together constantly. That was a big one that I had behind me in previous episodes, like the big terrarium. And the other male is in a 3x3x2, yeah, alone, and is doing well. Yeah.
So the pairing is in a 4 tall.
Yeah.
So maybe that is playing more of a factor than we were originally considering.
I don't think we have enough of an experiment to
I mean, right
conclude.
now, with our other couple, we do spray 3 minutes every other day because it's like the breeding season. It looked like they become alive more, like they're starting to move a lot, and like they get excited. I'm not sure if they're breeding or not because I can't really see the action, but it does something to them. Like the female goes to the ground and she's starting to kind of like almost like
Wiggle on the floor, yeah.
yeah, and he goes up and he moves a lot, and like there is a lot of movement because of the spraying. So something is triggered because of that. But with Grumpy, with the other couple that you gave us, I don't think we did anything special. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked about it before in like previous episodes, the concept of like a seasonal cycle where we're spraying them more often at certain times of the year and not others. But I feel like we're all not in sync, like between the three of us. We're all spraying them at random times. Yeah,
we're doing everything differently in the 3 breeding programs that we have, because I have my spray, like at first I had different amount of like time that I use for spraying, longer, shorter, and it started getting a little bit complicated to manage all this. And I just have, hold on a second, I have it's like 2 hours off, and then it sprays for about 30 seconds, and then another hour, like every 2 hours. And that's what I have. And I've noticed a lot of breeding behavior. So and the female still is gravid once again. So my spraying, like the spray is only for 30 seconds every 2 hours. Whereas I think you spray for longer, yeah.
Yeah, we do twice a day for 45 seconds, about a minute. And then in the middle of the day, we just go in manually and we
3 minutes.
blast them for like 2-3 minutes.
After like a minute and a half, I start to see their behavior changing.
But it could be that if we did like a cycle every
But if we did a cycle,
hour,
maybe they would,
it would also do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like it's almost like they're getting that heavy rainstorm and it's triggering something. We just don't know what it's triggering, right? So let me ask you guys this: Are you guys getting your natal eggs around the same time of year?
I usually, well, from my past experience, I had one around July and another one around November.
Yep.
That was my experience with the.
Mine are shifting forward now.
Yeah.
My whole reptile room is shifting forward.
In
But you know
terms of
what
like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
November, December
November, December,
versus
January.
October, November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November, December.
Interesting.
I don't know if I'm going to have the same cycle, if you wish, this time around. But I noticed that heat plays a major factor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it depends on the weather, the temperature. Right now, I don't have AC still, and it's I don't know. We have a hot spell at the moment here, and they're like hunkered down the bottom of the terrarium. They're very inactive, so I don't know if that's going to affect the laying process for the future clutch.
We have we are in a basement. I don't know if it shows. It doesn't show from the frame. It's pretty much constant, same temperature between winter and summer. I'm trying to open a window. It's not really doing much because heat travels up. So I mean, it's a degree up from winter right now.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think they do sense the pressure, but it feels like because I started like playing with other lizards that are on the same idea, the Stenocephus fimbriatus and the Corytophanes, and it feels like it's not the length or anything. It's mostly the fact that something had changed. Bless you, even though it
Thank
was,
you.
fine.
I'm muted it, but thank you.
It was 100% drama.
Yeah. I just needed to drag the attention back to myself. That was my way of doing it.
So it feels
Yeah.
like the fact that something changes, not necessarily how much it changes and what. It's like the fact that there is a change already triggers something in them.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's crazy that there isn't almost like in other species, people know like they lay in June, they lay in July, they, you know what I mean, something like that. But for mountain or dragons, it seems to differ quite a bit. JF, when you say heat, do you, on top of the house temperature switching up and down, do you have a heat lamp or something on the vivarium?
No, at the moment I just use LEDs and a 48-inch UVB bulb, fluorescent, but I don't add any extra heat to the terrarium. I guess the LED lights produce quite a bit of heat because they're powerful. I think there are 2 units that have like 500 watts equivalent each, and they do produce a little bit of heat. But other than that, I don't have the heat lamp. It's just the ambient temperature that goes up to 26, 27 at times.
Wow. Okay.
Like right now, that's how warm it gets.
Wow.
So in 2 weeks, the problem will be solved when the AC is installed. But for now, we have to live, with the extremes. And they seem to find a way to weather it out. Like I said, they will go lower in the tank, stay closer to the ground where it's more humid, and they can stay cooler.
Do they spend more time in the water?
No, I haven't seen them going in the water more because of the temperature. That hasn't changed.
Interesting.
And they have quite a bit of space. I've redesigned the terrarium because when we moved, I had to take everything down. The whole thing would not go up the stairs in my other house. So I had to take everything apart and start from scratch. So I gave them a much bigger pond, and I don't see them in the water very often, to be honest with you. But doesn't mean that it's not happening. We all know that.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
Yes.
What about you guys, Eyal and Rebecca? Do you, in terms of like heating and lighting, are you guys using any heat lamps, and do you have
Yes.
any UVB on them as well?
Yeah, so we are fortunate enough to do have AC. And
A luxury.
and we're also in Ontario and in a whole different climate situation. It feels like our basement is pretty much stable 2022.
Oh,
So
okay.
we are giving them a nice hotspot. I've never in my entire existence in here, which is about 2 years already, have seen them bask.
I've never seen any of my dragons bask either.
No.
But again, the fact that we didn't see it happen doesn't mean that it never happens.
Yeah, I know it doesn't happen, but like I'll give this argument is I do have a heat lamp on both groups I have. I don't see the Armata very often because they're in a green the grow tent.
Yep.
Yeah, they're in a grow tent, and every time I like unzip it, before I even unzip it, they're definitely scattering and disappearing into different like hiding areas, which we can discuss the grow tent in a bit as well. I did not like it, thumbs down. Anyway, it didn't work out like I wanted it to work. But the paludarium that has the capra in it is behind my desk where I work, and so I'm there from like 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 7 daily, and then the lights go out. So like what I'm trying to say is I've had plenty of opportunities to actually see them bask, and I've never seen them bask. So I don't know if they're actually using it. And in fact, they almost seem to hang out on the other side of the enclosure where it isn't as warm. And we know we've discussed like them liking it cooler before as well, but I don't really know how cool and if there is a seasonal temperature change, if it increases or decreases.
It feels like they're individuals as well.
Yeah.
So they're 4 foot long. Physique, my male is, I'd say, 80% of the day on the cold side.
Yeah.
And Inanna, the female, is on the bottom of the hot side.
Sometimes higher though.
She have space. She have places to be if she wanted it cooler, but she
prefers
it hotter.
Yeah.
I wonder if that also has something to do with female preparing eggs once it's warmer. I don't know. Yeah.
The same with the Almatas though.
Yeah.
The female is like very high
by the lamp.
by the heat
is
lamp.
away.
The male is lower most times.
Interesting.
And over here, I don't see the difference because the heat is it's almost even on either side of the
ambient, yeah.
But they do have places that they prefer. So like there's a branch that's hanging over the water. That's usually where the female goes, whereas the male will, hang on a tree trunk in the back of the terrarium. And those seem to be their favorite spots. And they go back to the same spots all the time, unless they start head bobbing and the little female dance, and they get together for a little bit of action. they tend to stay on, their different trees, branches.
JF, have you seen the action before?
For the first time in this new setup, that's where I saw the breeding activity for the first time.
You saw them lock as well, or is there?
It was very fast. It was a very fast lock.
Okay.
Like it's I'm saying matter of seconds. Like
Wow. Okay.
10 seconds at most, and it's really quick. And then they separate as quickly as they got together.
And is there pre-lock behavior like head bobbing or anything like that?
That's it. It doesn't always happen. Because I've seen the behavior before where the male will do the head bobbing, the female kind of wiggles her body. It's like a belly dance, if you wish. But it can lead to absolutely nothing. I guess that's part of the courtship behavior. And eventually, I guess they know it. They know when they're ready, and that's when it happens. But it takes a while before I think the lock happens. Anyway, that's what I've observed over here.
We never saw a lock.
We never saw a lock, but it's at the afternoon hours. Like right now, basically, my male is head bobbing to the female. There's something about the afternoon hours, like around 5 o'clock.
And he becomes
That's
very
when they
yellow.
start.
The head gets very super yellow, and he's like.
I'm not sure why it's at this hour, but do you see the same? Like, or is it at any time of the day?
Because of the move, everything is like a big blur, right? So I've been so busy with the boxes, moving things. I still have the other house where I have to go every once in a while to maintain before the new buyers actually move into the house. So I don't remember if the head bobbing and the lock was in the morning or the afternoon. So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I don't seem to have noticed a particular time of day.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything like that either. I have seen not the current pair of Armata that I have. The pair I had, the parents of the baby that have since passed away. Um, I saw them locking once, but there was no behavior before then, and I can't remember what time of day it was. But I will say, the capras don't eat. I try to tongue feed the dragons as much as possible. The capras won't eat before like 2 3 p.m. and they'll stop eating at like 7 8. Like they have a window where they're the most active, and before that it's like they're still asleep, and like I feel like they sleep more than 12 hours a day. I'm not sure. So maybe that's that window as well where they're getting more active. They're kind of, these are their awake hours, but I'm not sure.
We noticed the Eyal, in my experience, my female eats no matter what. My Natal female, doesn't matter what time of day it is. She will.
Yes.
And it's if they like super worms, and I could be giving her like 5, 6, 7. If I don't stop offering them, she won't stop eating them.
Yeah.
The males, 2, 3 backs, and then they start slapping at it with their paw. They don't want it, and they
close the eye.
Yeah, that's it. We're done. But my female, it's constant. She's eating all the time.
Yeah.
Do you see a change? Like I noticed that recently my female is eating less. Like before breeding season, she ate a lot, and now she's like slowing down on eating.
The only time I see less feeding is maybe a week before she's about to lay the eggs. But usually it's like a constant. It's funny because when I first got her, she's obviously wild caught, and it was really difficult to feed her. I had to syringe feed her every day for about 2-3 months, and make sure that she would survive. And now that she's over that hump, she's eating constantly. And the only time, like I said, she's not eating, it's when she's getting ready to lay the eggs. And I haven't seen any other, other patterns other than that.
Let's kind of jump into that for a second, actually, because I've also experienced some females eating nonstop, almost to the point where they're going to eat themselves to death. And then I've seen the females also get very big to where I thought she must be gravid, and nothing happens. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbor mowing the lawn. So like gets very big, almost like they produce eggs. And we talked about this a little bit on the last episode, where like I think they're gravid, and then they pass away, and I've opened them up and there is eggs, but they don't look like fertile eggs. So what's you guys' theory on how much we should be feeding them versus egg production? Like, does my question kind of make sense?
I don't think I have a theory yet.
I think it's not only like how much, but what you feed them.
Okay.
So I feel that superworms are too fatty. So like feeding only superworms is causing a problem, because then they gain like too much weight that is actually fat, and then it can cause complications, especially if they have eggs. So I actually moved to giant worms, giant mealworms, and those ones are a little bit more lean. So I do a combination between them and superworms. My female is not so much into crickets, but I try to give her crickets as well. So it's basically moving to things that are like less fatty, because it's like a bearded dragon. If I will keep on feeding my bearded dragon superworms, it's gonna be huge and fat, but I want it to be in shape. So I think it's a variety, and staying away from only giving them, like the superworm is more like almost like a treat, right? Giving them only the superworm.
Super mealworms are the new kale.
Never seen them.
Kale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't find them here in Ottawa either.
Yeah. Have you tried feeding them hornworms?
They're not. They're not crazy about it, to be honest.
My
I
capras are
tried.
crazy
I'm not
about
so much into
Really? They will eat silkworms
Yeah, they like
Silkworms,
silks.
yes, they like the silk. Hornworms, not so much.
No,
Is this specifically? Are you both specifically talking about the Natals?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the reptiles, but a lot of my lizards
They
used
don't
to
care
eat
for
the
horns.
hornworms.
Anoles, big anoles, like they love the hornworms.
Interesting. The capras, specifically the males, I think that's their favorite food. If I take out the
actually,
hornworms, they're jumping all over the place for them.
Same with the armata.
Armatas
The male
love the
armata loves
hornworm.
it.
He's
He
gonna
would
jump,
jump on the female and take it out of the mouth.
and he barely eats.
Yeah, that's
Like,
interesting.
When I put this inside, he's crazy about it. So
The
he's
Natals, not so much.
Armata is an exception. when it
But they're
comes to
not. They're not from the same area. It's like all of them are from
Yeah.
different
that. Exactly.
parts of the world. So
There might be a bug that looks more like a hornworm in that part of the world. Yeah, that makes sense. We discussed this before as well. Someone, I remember which one of you, but someone said something about spiders and slugs is their main diet.
It was Eyal.
Yeah. I
we
don't.
still believe so. It's like we have the big problem that we have with them, as far as I'm getting now, with all the vet bills from Inanna and how we saved Inanna.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like when people are asking why CBB Natals are so expensive. I mean, I'm $5,000 in on vet bills. So I mean, somebody needs to pay for them.
Yeah.
Currently,
Fair.
right now, it's me. They are not getting enough calcium, and there's, I mean, diet-wise, I'm dusting and everything, and it's hard to get the calcium intake that they need with the amount of laying that they have. I'm solving it with 3 regime changes. When they feel grabby to me, I add calcium to the spray water, liquid calcium. And when I spray them manually, they drink it, so they're adding calcium. I also, it's only calcium with D3 from now on. And
So, sorry, before you continue that train of thought, it's calcium with D3, but you also have UVB on the enclosure? Wow, okay.
Same
they
here.
Not
are,
enough.
I mean, they are laying 15 eggs a lay 3 times a year. That's
Okay, yeah.
that's copious amounts of calcium
Yeah,
going
that's a lot.
through their system. They need the help. That's like, so Inanna had hypocalcemia. Inanna started dehydrating even though she was drinking a lot. We had to inject her with saline and help her with the calcium, so she got the calcium injections. She lost part of her jaw, and then we got Physique from Montreal, and she, from an animal that was going to pass away, she was like, I need to have sex with this guy, so she bounced back.
Yeah, it almost felt like as soon as we put the male there, she started eating again. And I'm not sure if it's a coincidence, but there is something.
And now with the
lepidogasters,
lepidogasters,
we see it as well. Once you
cycle.
put another, the other sex with them, and they're not doing that well, sometimes it really helps them survive and flourish. It's a very odd thing, but we noticed that several times.
I wonder if it's competition or if it's like you're saying, like almost the desire to breed kind of makes
It's
them
the
strengthen
natural
them.
instinct of them that they need to reproduce.
Yeah, because we were just talking about this in the group yesterday, right? You were talking about putting the lepidogaster back in with the male, and
That's what's like. So I looked at what happened with Inanna, and I said, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. I am separating the girls and the females and the males right now on the lepidogasters, because the lepidogasters are in smaller tanks, so it's easier to have more of them. All my guys are living separately. So I have 3 males in an 18-18-36, and the girls are going in periodically. So every girl gets 2 weeks with a guy, and then she's removed for a month and a half until it's her turn to go back again. And I watched 3 of my wild-caught females not gaining more weight than the 21 grams, because the stipulation I had with JF was that we want them at 24, 25. And they're stuck at 21, and they're good, they're eating, everything is great. And then I said to myself, maybe, just like Inanna did recover from that because of the male. Maybe it is an instinct that will kick in, so I'll put them in with the male. Worst case, I'm going to lose them. It's like they're not gaining weight. I'm going to lose them anyhow. So I stuck them with one with John Wayne and one with Rage, and we're at 25.
And immediately you
They
see
gained 3 grams.
immediately you see that they're getting better. It's not something like that within days. It's like immediately you see they're more active and like they feel better. They go and eat. It's
More awake.
But you guys are
eating more as well.
you're going to continue separating them for periods of time, though.
Yeah, it's going to be it's like I want to get them pregnant once or twice a year. I don't want to go to the 3rd. So right now I'm just putting them 2 weeks in, a month out, and then once they will lay, they will get one more cycle like that with the male, and that's it.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing the same thing. At first, my males were getting along just fine, and recently they started hating each other. So I have to separate the males. And like you said, because they require quite a bit of space, it's a little bit more complicated to have, like 3 or 4 4x4x2 anywhere. So that's why the male is still with the female. But I was hoping after she had laid her last clutch, I would be able to separate her, which could bring us to the topic of growth ends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's one way that I had to go, because I didn't have any other space for anything else. And I have it's I think 36 by 36 by 70 something inches.
Yeah, 78.
And I just plopping them on the floor, and as a temporary enclosure, it works great. I can put a tub of water at the bottom, and I can control, what they do and where they eat and whatnot. And it worked fine for me. I like the growth end, not it's not a display tank, obviously, but it serves the purpose, and if you look, you can actually see behind me, I do have some of the babies in grow tents. I have 2 grow tents that I use for babies, and then that's it. Other than that, they're in their terrarium because I want to enjoy them. But the grow tents are planted, they're lush, it's humid, and they seem to thrive in that setup.
I wish I had the same experience.
Now, if I could
hold on.
some females, because I've got Body's curse, I only have male lepidogasters, and we all know that doesn't produce many clutches.
I've tried.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Having multiple males together, turns out you can't produce eggs. Turns out.
I don't know why.
Turns out, no idea. That experiment somehow fails.
Yeah, it's failed with me with multiple species now. Sorry, I want to get to the growth ends, but very quickly, I just have a quick question. Just jumping back to the lepidogaster weights. So what you guys are saying is the ideal breeding weight for an adult female is around 24, 25 grams?
So no, I have
okay.
Actually, no.
I have also, and pardon my political existence, I have also listened to the Conservative Party's debate, and in particular, one of my favorite MPs, Derek Sloan, said something very, very interesting. Some people are born, some people are born tall, and some people are born short, and you can't. So it was highly racist and fun to listen to.
I had a feeling it was sarcasm when you got that excited. Anyway, I got it.
Yet, when we remove it from humans and move it to animals, it no longer is racist. Junior, that we took from you, the Natal, is tiny, and he's fun. He's in an 1836. He's not even like
he's small.
Moving and running. He's smallish.
Yeah.
Zeke in 1836, he's like this is the size of a tank.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I can't expect all of them. So what I'm doing right now is I am letting them eat, and I'm trying to fatten them. When they don't grow anymore, I call that the average weight of that specific female.
Okay.
And
So,
I
but
try to bank that one forever now. So she would go down and up, but I know that she's not going to gain more than 21. That's her natural weight.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, I
I
understand.
agree with Eyal. It would be kind of ridiculous to, if you apply it to humans, saying, okay, women can only have children if they are this certain weight. Before
Yeah.
that, it wouldn't work. After that, it's not good for
What if
them.
she's 5'2"? What
Yeah,
if
that's
she's
it. So
6'2"?
Tiny women
I mean,
have
it's like,
babies.
they're not gonna be the same weight.
Exactly.
I think
Right, right.
it's realistic to use that as a rule of thumb just to make sure that we're not breeding them too young.
Mhm.
But at one point, we have to realize that some of them will grow bigger and some of them will stay smaller, and that's what should be our main focus is figuring out what their average size is, if they've reached maturity, and like Ayal said, if they have sufficient amount of calcium for it. Because I think that we both had the same
Yeah.
situation where we ended up with egg binding, and
Me
I was
too.
lucky enough to save mine, but I agree that the calcium is probably what was lacking in the last.
Yeah.
And
But-
Calcium,
Reptile
it's-
once in a while.
It's sometimes forcing them to
With
eat,
reptile. Yeah.
and hydration. It's like not being afraid. It's like if you are going to have mountain dragons as a breeding project, syringes,
Yeah.
syringes, no hesitation. It's
Mhm.
like you put some.
What do you use, grub pie or
No, I'm using no for hydration. We're using we have a nice
saline?
nope, plasma light.
That's what that is.
Osmolite. Interesting.
Plasma light. You can get it from online. It's no prescription, or a vet can prescribe it to you. It's like the same ones between them are willing to give you a bag. It's better than saline because saline is just not letting them. It's dehydrating them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you ask a friend to show you where to do the injection, and then you're all set.
Then you get JF to come
Yeah.
to your home and you give a good coffee and you tolerate his 5 a.m.
Just for education purposes. I feel the need to say it somehow.
JF
I-
wakes up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like it's unfair and it should be illegal.
Getting up
I-
at 5?
Yes,
I agree.
It's the best time of the day.
Saying that also is like
We do
it's
that
misleading
Oh,
information.
it's the best time of the day when I'm not working, believe it or not. When I'm working, I can't get out of bed.
JF
That
is a
makes
great person except for the 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Except for the 5 a.m. I heard the coffee wasn't great either.
Here.
Wow, but that's
No, Rebecca's improved quite a bit. I had the first round of coffee when she was learning how to use the machine, but the second time,
Now it's even
delicious.
no.
Now I'm probably the best barista in Berry, or one of them.
Perfect.
But yes,
Yes.
but that's
And
another
Back,
subject.
back to lizards.
But that's back to lizards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's all very interesting. It's interesting that the lack of calcium is also causing. It's sounding like it's almost causing dehydration, and you have to battle both at the same time.
It's not almost. It's hypocalcemia is leading to dehydration.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I originally asked the question because I wanted to kind of find that minimum weight, or almost like when they reach sexual maturity, because I feel like that was also a big concern of like we're pairing them too young and they're not growing to the proper size before being paired, and that was causing a lot of problems. But
So I think it's different between the subspecies. So I will be much smarter very, very soon on Lepidogaster.
yeah,
I'm looking at them, and I think the way I will again do the median weight, 14 months is the, let's say, the normal expected sexual maturity age for I think all of them.
not the Armada,
14 months.
not the Armada.
For all
Oh
of
no,
the
yeah, no,
Lepidoblastas.
Maurice is 14 months.
For the
Yes.
Lepidoblastas,
This is not even, like, close.
Only the Lepidoblastas.
The
That's
Lepidoblastas.
Maurice's
Only the
sibling,
Lepidoblastas.
and because
Not that one.
honestly, I really can't tell. If you look at the legs, they're green, and sometimes at night it will turn green. So I'm like, oh, definitely have a female. But then you look at the tail, and it's really like the beige,
Yeah, coloration, yes.
right? So, but at 14 months, they're not ready.
Yeah, no.
Not at all.
My girls, like the first batch, the batch that I already rehomed and sold, Some of the holdbacks were looking female. I kept 3 of them. At month 14, none of them was female.
Well, both the lepidogasters, the baby I got from you and the other one that I had that must have been wild caught, I thought were female until over a year
Yep.
when they both just ended up being male.
So
But
mine look
who knows?
female right now. They were born in. They have the same birthday as my mom, so they were born in April. So now if they remain female, they probably are female.
Because they're over a year old.
Over 14, 15 months, I'd say is the benchmark that you can sex them accurately and say yes, 1,000,000%.
They are.
This was born a month and a half after this one.
Rebecca, can you bring that closer to the camera, please? Or
Same clutch, same
Thank you.
everything. This is about a month and a half before this one.
That one on the left is a female, right?
This one is exploding now. I think all 3 of them are female.
Oh, okay.
That one is already 14 months, so I'm assuming it's going to stay female.
Yeah, I'm just basing it on the. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Tail base. This one is not eating the amount that the others are eating, which is also something that makes me think maybe we are going to change sexes around next month.
Yeah, maybe you should take the time to explain what the white dot and green dots were on the back of your lizards.
I
That's how
was just
they
about
know.
to ask.
Not to be reptile racist, they all look the same to me.
No. But yes.
Reptile
It's a way to
racist.
tell them apart.
Especially
It's
when they're
smart.
that young, right? At this age, it's easier, but when they're really young, it's sometimes it gets hard.
Does it wash off? Because the
Uh,
turtle
it's-
people do it too.
It's all based face paint, so it's human safe. I ran that with a vet. There were some paints that were disqualified.
Mhm.
It comes off
When they shed.
when they shed. I need to sometimes
Reapply it.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah. With the babies, when they're very, very small and they start like shedding like frequent,
Yeah.
and they go on that like explosion period.
Mhm.
Yeah, the paint palette stays by them at that point.
Interesting. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Jeff, why don't you jump back into the grow tent topic? You were saying you like it. Could you maybe tell us why you like using the grow tents? And then I see the one that you have the babies in
Yep.
is not see through. Like it's a black grow tent.
Yeah,
Are all of them like that?
those that I have are exactly like that. They're
Okay.
opaque, and there's like a viewing window.
Yeah.
I keep them open. At the bottom of the grow tent, on either side, you have a mesh vent that allows air circulation. I don't know. I like them. They're light. They're easy to set up. It's quick. It's a quick solution for when you're in a rush or in a bind and you don't have another terrarium. I find that it's easily, like I said, it's easy to set up, and at the same time, if you start running out of space, it's also easy to take apart and put away. However, my lepidogasters are in another grow tent right here next to me, and like I said, this one is fully planted. The plants are thriving. The lizards are having a blast, and they don't care if they don't see us, really. You know, like it's usually for us. We like to see them. We like to see what we're growing. That's why we have planted terrariums, because I like it when it looks natural. We don't have that. That's one of the biggest drawback of the grow tents is that you don't get to see them as much. But the lizards themselves, they don't really care if it's clear or opaque.
It might be even better for them.
Might be.
I was gonna say I think they probably prefer not being able to see us.
Yeah, well, I had at the beginning with the Natals, I had a lot of window surfing. I don't know if you remember, we had that discussion where the nose rubbing and window surfing in front of the terrarium. That never happens in the grow tent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Because they don't have that view of the outside world. if you wish.
Yep.
So that's one thing. But once again, there's a difference between the captive bred and the wild caughts, right? I don't think I have to worry with the captive breds. They're used to being in that kind of a setup, and they're not as stressed out as the others were when I first got them. I have to say that they tamed down quite quickly, though.
Yeah.
They're
The
still
wild caught or the captive bred?
wild caughts, the Natal wild caughts. They still don't really want to interact with you, but if I have to pick them up and I scoop them up, they'll stay there for a bit.
Yeah.
And then, funny enough, you're trying to put them back in the terrarium, and they don't want to get off of you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's times when they're still, really angry, and displaying mouth open, ready to bite.
And some of them
That's the
never
wild
do.
caughts.
Some of them never tame down.
Yeah,
There's also a matter of personality, I think.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
our baby Natals, I even see, since they're like, how young are
Yeah.
they? They're like a month old, something like that. And some of them are super, super friendly. And I have one that is kind of a little bit angrier, and it's just a personality thing. Like, I treated all of them the same. But so far, I do see a huge difference between the captive and the wild, like on behavior, how much they want to interact. Like Maurice actually needs the interaction. Like if I don't go to the enclosure and I give attention to another lizard, he gets like, hey, what's up? Maybe it's the food and not me. I understand that, but there's something there that he actually wants.
Yeah, and you can tell we've we've been talking for 50 minutes so far.
He's chilling.
And
Yeah.
none of them have really moved
They're
because
chilling, yeah.
but they're both just sitting there and they don't seem to be stressed out whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And the wild caughts wouldn't do that though.
Yeah, never.
My male would settle down for a bit and then kind of lull you in a false sense of security and it's all cool, and the minute you don't pay attention, it will jump off and try to run away. But the captive breds don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We see the same.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I agree with everything you said. I think it's probably better for them that they don't see us. I know they don't need to see us, but there is a anti or like a reverse to this where I do believe that the less they see us, the less likely they are to kind of calm down. And I'm specifically talking like the trio I have in the grow tent are wild caught.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried the grow tent with captive bred babies, so it could be a different story. But they were already very finicky, already wanted nothing to do with me, and now, like I was saying earlier, this could be another thing as well. There's no viewing window in the one I have downstairs, so they don't even know that I could be standing outside, and they don't even know that I'm there until I unzip it, and then before, like even when I just like a little. Zzz, I hear them. It's like, yeah, they're all panicking and they're freaking out. And then I open it and I don't see any of them. And granted, it's planted and there's some big potted trees and everything in there, but they go to the furthest corner where I can't get to without emptying the grow tent. So I can't do a visual inspection. I know they're eating because I will put crickets in and I'll put worms in and all of that, and they're all disappearing. And I hear if I throw 20 crickets in and close it, and I stand there, I can hear them hunting. But other than that, I have no idea how much
crickets in the grow tent.
Sorry?
How do you do crickets in the grow tent?
I'm crazy.
I was going to say the same thing because I don't know. I have a liner at the bottom of mine, right? It's like a second bottom to keep the dirt in, and the crickets will just go hide in between the outside of the grow tent and that liner. So it's really annoying feeding crickets in there.
That's the
I
problem.
didn't put the liner in. I didn't put the liner in, and so the pros of it is I can throw crickets in because there's nowhere for the crickets to hide. The cons of it is it's starting to rust.
Yeah.
So I should have definitely put the liner in because I'm ruining the grow tent now and it's too late to do anything about it. But I did try to go in there at one point and put the clear coat nail polish on where it's rusting to kind of counterbalance it, but I don't think it's gonna help. But yeah, so I throw crickets in because it's completely sealed from all sides. They can't get out, and they're getting most of them. But at the same time, I have no idea if they're basking. I have no idea if they're ever going near. There's a 10-gallon aquarium in there, with like it has sticks in it so they can climb in and out of it and all that kind of stuff. But I have no idea if they even know where it is. Like I don't know if they obviously it's been over a year, so they must be getting their moisture and their liquid somehow. Because they visually, when I do see them, they look good. They look like they're doing well. They look like they're eating and all of that. But it's just the lack of being able to quickly get eyes on them, quickly do a health check or whatever that I don't like about the grow tent. But yeah, maybe if they were captive bred and calmer, then I would have a different experience with it. But so far, it hasn't been.
I think it also depends.
I'm looking you for a second.
Is the lizard in the area that you're always there? Like, is your enclosure in the living room and you're always around it? Or is your enclosure in a basement and you come by like once or twice a day? That would make a big difference as well. Because all of our animals are in a basement. So basically, I'm here only like twice a day for 30 minutes to an hour. So they have a lot of alone time.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that really matters, I think, and it's very important to make sure that they have their alone time, because a lot of the action happens when we are not there. And also, it's important to make sure that if they glass surface, at least make sure that they don't have glass like on all four sides. So basically, that the glass is only at the front. So you can have like cocoa fiber, like at the enclosure that you see behind me, like around it, so they can climb on it and they don't surface on the glass. And especially, like one of the mistakes that we made was we put like a black kind of paper, plastic,
On the
because
outside.
we thought it's very pretty, but all of our lizards reflect, and then they think it's another lizard, and it makes them crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That's what I have here. Got this plastic film that I put on the glass, but because it's on the outside, we get a reflection, which also tricks them into believing that it's deeper or like wider than what it really is, which leads to them trying to go further out, but they can't because it's glass and it's just a reflection. So that causes the nose rubbing issues.
So I used not the plastic film. I got black cardstock from Dollarama, it's a giant sheet for $1. And I never had the issue with any of the mountain horned dragons, but I was having this issue with the collared lizards. They were kind of glass surfing at the front, and the second I put the black on all three sides, they stopped. But it's not reflective; it's almost like a matte.
Okay.
So that might be something I can send you guys pictures afterwards. That might be something to try as well, because they stopped glass surfing completely, and they're not having any nose rub issues. It's working very well so far. Has anyone tried? I know, Rebecca. I know you guys use Zen habitats as well as Exoterras. But has anyone tried PVC tanks for them?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
Simply
Oh,
because,
that's not true. I have. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, simply because I mean, if you could see all the walls, they're full now, terrariums. That's the max. It's never going to get more than what I have now. In fact, I have to downsize. So that's the reason I haven't tried PVC, because I don't have room for any other terrariums than what I have. It could. I'm pretty sure it would be a good option for them. It would maintain the humidity quite well.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a big role too.
Yes.
We mainly have
Yeah.
glass. That's mainly what we have. We have one that is PVC at the front and wood at the back, like wood
That's
from
the
all
Zen.
around. Yeah,
That's the Zen habitats. Yeah.
and it's the Zen habitat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan for the animals for the mountain horned dragon. I'm not a big fan. The front door is like not in a good shape
it's-
already, and it's still new.
The acrylic warps, right?
Yep.
It's just like it bent, right?
Yeah.
It
And
works. Glass is so
Yeah.
much easier for the dragons. It's like
and the bottom gets really filthy, and it's just not great. The glass is like 10 times better.
So how long have you had those then habitat terrariums? Because I remember at first you were like quite enthusiastic about them.
I love the build. The
Yeah.
build is beautiful and sturdy. I think that desert animals would be awesome in it.
Exactly.
I think that something that doesn't need so much moisture and filth would be great in it.
Mhm.
It's those tree agamas that need like a swampy kind of environment.
Mhm.
It's too much to ask of PVC enclosure.
And once I need to spray for 3 minutes, it's like
Yeah, it gets
No.
soggy.
it's really disgusting at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a PVC enclosure thing though, because PVC will hold that. It's the acrylic
Yeah.
doors, right?
It's the acrylic door. Exactly.
I think it's the specific build that is like there's a frame and there's PVC in the frame.
And that's the issue. You got to silicone the frame if you want to make it watertight.
Yeah.
Whereas there's some PVC terrariums that are completely sealed just by the nature in which they were built. You know, some of them are almost like a cardboard box.
Mhm.
There's notches that have been carved in them, and then you fold them, and you don't really have to worry about any leaks. But those that have like a metal frame that you have to slide the PVC in, that's another issue.
Yep, they're not great for dragons.
Yeah.
This seems
I'm
like a
sure
good time.
Something else.
Sorry, I was just gonna say this seems like a good time to plug Exoterra. Exoterra creates quality. This is and they just released the Pro Exoterra Pros. So if you're looking for mountain horn dragon tanks,
Oh, I'm
Exoterra.
so impressed with the new ones. The new
Pros
ones
are beautiful.
At the Expo. I'm
Yeah.
like the fact that I don't need to drill the bottom anymore.
they're
Love it.
they're
Love it.
doing some really cool stuff. Yeah.
I don't know, Fadi. Maybe you have to talk to your sponsor so they can send one my way so I can test it out and
We're not sure about it, so yeah.
There you
need
go.
to be convinced.
Back to Exoterra. Yeah. Let them send me one first, and then we could discuss. I'm waiting for the. There's some more terrariums coming down the line. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say or not, so I'll leave it at that. But there's some more terrariums coming down the line that will possibly fit mountain horn dragons even better. But that's a conversation for another time. JF, tell us a little bit about the move.
Oh, the move. That was
The move.
Oh,
that was a stressful situation for many reasons, but the move itself, that was quite a puzzle, like logically to move everything. That was quite difficult. I was lucky enough that I had a friend that had a little
the OG
Chicago line van, and we were able to move a few terrariums at a time. So for the course of 2-3 weeks, was it 3 weeks, I think, back and forth, we were moving the terrariums. It's still not set up the way I want it. The wires are hanging everywhere, as you can see. I haven't done the fine tuning and tucking in the wires the way I want it, but I have right now they're adjusting well. The lizards are home and everybody's content. But the logistic of moving a large collection of terrariums, that's quite challenging. Eyal's lived it a few
Yeah,
times.
when you broke all the like everything out of the 4-foot.
That was heartbreaking.
Heartbreak.
was-
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking because it took all that time for the plants to acclimate and to start
Acclimate,
growing and filling in the terrarium, and then I had to take it apart. But it gave me an opportunity to try a different kind of setup. Like I said, with the new setup I have, the pond takes, I would say, almost 2/3 of the floor.
You can see the difference. Like that's John Wayne, the OG breeder male. It's like he's handleable and everything. He won't stay put.
Yeah, so I'm trying something new. For like I was talking to Eyal about the reasons, partly why I have the bigger ponds, and I want to force my female to lay their like her eggs in a
One
lay box.
specific corner. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this way I can control where she's digging.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as complicated because, like I said in the previous episode or the one before that, she likes to dig in the roots of the trees or plants that I put in terrarium, and it sometimes gets complicated to take them out. So by having more space, I'm hoping that it'll be easier for me to offer a lay box and she'll use it.
Yeah.
That was my theory.
Do you have any concerns about? Oh, hold on. Let's. Rebecca wants to show us some babies. Hit us.
So what do you
How
have there?
old are? Yeah. Well, how old are they? And yeah, what is that? What species?
Hatching April.
So this is an Natal.
That's an
April
Italian. Wow.
hatch
Okay.
dates.
April. So 3 months old.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Jeff's gonna bring his stock.
Yeah. Bring the babies. Bring the babies. Okay.
And obviously, the green is the coloring that we give them because you really cannot distinguish between them right now.
Yeah.
But we have 7. Out of them, 2 are struggling.
Okay.
One of them really needs help with eating. So it's going okay. And the other one has seizures.
Interesting. And do you know what causes that?
We have no clue. It feels almost like he gets anxiety once we hold him because it always happens when we hold him, which is very odd. He acts as if he's dead or something. I don't know if something is actually happening there or if he's like playing dead. But it is concerning. We don't know like what's going to happen with him, but we try our best.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my babies that was born, not the last clutch, but the one before that. And you see the difference in colors between yours and mine?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's
Mine are much
quite
better.
interesting. But you can tell these, 100% that will be a male. I guarantee it.
Yours?
Yeah. If for some reason when they're all light like this, they stay light and then eventually they develop the colors.
Mhm.
And I found that the Natals, the yellow, will show really quickly, less than a year old for the males.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most of them. But like I said, I have had 2 coloration when they hatch, the lighter ones and the darker ones. And the darker ones seem to take a lot longer to develop any color. That's why I'm saying I thought that the other one was female. I'm not sure anymore.
Mhm.
Yep.
But this one, that coloration, I'm 100% sure it's a male.
How old?
I don't remember. I'd have to check in my records, but I don't know. It's a good point. I don't know.
Did you also notice that the first ones that hatched and the last one that hatched are the strongest one?
The first one hatching, I find are the strongest one.
Okay. I
And
find
then
both
after-
of them, yeah.
Yeah. All the lizards I've had, like the babies Maurice, for example, and the other lizard I had on my arm, they're the first ones to hatch in their clutch. And I don't know, they were stronger. I guess they were eating more. I don't know. Don't know if that's the reason. But they and this is the same thing. Those were the first one to hatch.
I mean, it's not like food is limited. We're tongue feeding them
Yeah.
as much as they want. So if they eat first, it's fine. It's like the one each second gets the same amount of food.
I don't know. There could be something, nature-wise, where it's like the other eggs are like an insurance policy. They really like they have a lot of eggs. Nature.
I'm still like, I can't wait to understand their lifespan.
Same.
There's no way that something that takes like Maurice hatched in January last year, so the thing is like almost 2 years old
Still
and not sexually mature. There's no way it lives to 7. There's no way.
way more.
No, they're going to live much longer than what we see. The average lifespan that we find on the internet is based on the
5 to
the
7 years.
wild caught. Like, look, you can have a wild caught. Those that I have, I don't know how old they are, they've acclimated very well, and I think they're going to live for quite a while. But we also have had experiences where you get lizards that seem healthy, and out of nowhere they just crash. So if you count, that one I've had for, I don't know, what, 4 years now, 5 years. Time goes by so fast. I don't remember how long I've had them for. But then if you compare that and you start averaging, oh, that one I had for 6 months, that one I've had for 7 years. You average, 3.5 years. That's their average lifespan. It's just math.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
since-
I will say I haven't had any of them. I've had a huge crash in my population recently, and when I did the math, they all were around 6-ish years. That being said, all of them were wild caught. So
Yeah.
you're right. It could be that's the lifespan of the wild caughts, and we don't know what the captive bred babies are going to do.
It's also a matter of when did they started breeding. I think when they started breeding too soon, the lifespan going to be shorter. We see that on Chihuahua. If we start breeding them way too soon,
It makes sense. They're exerting all the energy way too early, and
yep.
I
And
was
they
speaking
stop growing.
to Phil Leitz from Arids Only, and he said the same thing for Uromastyx, where he was saying if you can get, I'm probably gonna butcher the way he said it, but he said you can feed heavy and get like 15 babies on, or 15 eggs on the first clutch, 15 eggs on the second clutch, and then she might not have a third clutch. But if you kind of balance it out and get 6 eggs on the first clutch, 6 to 8 eggs on the second, then you'll get a third and maybe a fourth clutch and maybe a fifth clutch, because she's not exerting all that energy
Yeah.
to produce all at once. So yeah, I really don't know. I haven't had any luck since the Armatas, which was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what is too early. When do we start pairing them? How much should they be eating? I have
But
no
the
idea.
test cases for us would be the ones that we actually know how old they are. Because up to now we
Right.
didn't know how old they are.
Right. Right.
So it was too early in our care, but we don't know. So
How long are your females digging holes and acting like they're about to lay before they actually do?
For me, it lasts about 1 week, but not well. I mean, the first time there was some digging behavior, almost like she was looking for a good spot to lay the eggs. The other times there was no digging. It was 1 week of not eating, and then that's it. At one point, she found a spot, started digging, laid the eggs, and that was it. But to me, the biggest telltale is the not eating. When she stops eating, I know she's ready to lay the eggs, and it usually takes about a week before it happens.
Eyal and Rebecca, you're nodding your heads. Is this something you've experienced as well? The lack of eating before they lay
like
their
when
eggs?
Inanna refuses
Yeah.
food, that's eggs. Otherwise, Inanna does not refuse food.
Yeah.
See, this just confuses me even more. I have a female capper that's been digging holes, and it's been like 3 days now, but she's still eating.
Yeah, it depends on the animal.
I'm not experienced with Capra.
Me neither, but is it a feeding behavior? Again, that's another thing we don't know.
Yeah, right.
Is the lizard looking for food? Maybe they're looking for worms. They're looking for other insects.
She's big.
Yeah.
Like unhealthy big. Like
Look.
she needs to yeah.
When Midori's gravid and she's about to lay the eggs, you can actually almost count them. You can see the bulges of all the eggs. It's crazy. It takes up the entire cavity. Like I don't even know how they can breathe. The lungs must be so compressed because there's so many eggs. Each time that she's laid 20 eggs or so, and it fits all in that small body, and it takes a big toll on her because after she laid the eggs, she's like really skinny, dehydrated. Then it takes a while to build her back up. Eventually, she feels like she fills up, but it's it's a challenge, and it takes a big toll with the females. So we have to be careful with how often we breed them. Yeah.
And that's where we can learn from Fadi. When you don't put them together in the same terrarium.
They don't breed.
They don't breed.
If you keep three males together, they won't breed.
Fadi is helping. Fadi is trailblazing on the other end of
On the other end, yeah.
breeding.
How to not breed your. If you want a tutorial on how not to breed your mountain horn dragons, come ask me. I'll find out for you real quick. It's been hilarious. A few methods. It's been crazy. I have no idea what's going on anymore with them. It's very funny. I look. I'm happy just keeping them. Right, like they're beautiful species.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think they're one of the best animals I've ever kept. But it is very frustrating. Like it's a funny frustration of like it's been like this female that I'm talking about now that's very big has been with a male for over a year now. She's looked like the same. Like she's looked like she's ready to lay eggs for 3 years now, and nothing. And so either she's extremely overweight.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's reabsorbing, which I don't even know if they can do. I don't know what's happening. Which also brings up the topic of JF. You were just saying it's almost like she's looking for the right place to lay. That brings up another question: is am I not providing the right substrate, the right moisture in the substrate, the right what's stopping her from laying? If she even has eggs, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have no idea.
Yeah. What's your experience, Eyal, with the and Rebecca with the soil moisture and everything where you're breeding? Because mine was the soil was very soggy. The way I had built the pond in the first build, I had made a few mistakes, and it was just soaking up all the water, and so it was waterlogged all the time. It was almost like a swamp, and that didn't stop her from laying the eggs. But your experience, what do you offer them for?
Sorry, Jeff, you said that did not stop her from laying the eggs.
No.
So then I have no idea what's going on, because it's she has both a soggier area and a drier area, and she's not laying them either. But sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Rebecca, what's your experience?
Acanthosaura, like
Listen,
humans,
we
they
had-
have liberal leaning kind of like females there that don't want to bring kids.
We
Yeah.
had the same situation with our previous.
Pro abortion. So
We had two Natals. Both of them looked like they were gravid, but they were apparently one of them was just fat, and the other one actually had eventually 20 eggs inside of 20 or 22, was it? Like way too many eggs. And right now we have the Armata that looks completely gravid.
Like yours, she looks
for a year
gravid.
already, and she's not even eating that much.
that Armata looked
Just
gravid
looks gravid.
from
So-
the moment when she was still in my house. She looked gravid.
So
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
exactly. So maybe it's body shape.
It could be the whole superworm thing, like you said. Superworms have too
Maybe
much
the
fat, and
superworms. We were feeding
much
them too
food.
much superworms.
specifically that female. Out of all the mountain horn dragons I have, specifically that female will eat herself to death. Like she will eat 15 hornworms or 15 superworms. Like I have to be like, you've had enough. It's she doesn't stop on her own. So
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But also they are in nature they're less movie and less chasey. So I'd say they're more of an opportunistic hunter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if the opportunity presents itself, their
They go
natural
for it.
instinct would be, I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't know what tomorrow brings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I put a handful of crickets at the bottom of the terrarium, they will jump down to the bottom and start like completely decimating that offering.
I have the same experience.
But then they could go for a few days without eating, and it's okay. And I've tried different methods, tongue feeding, or like I said, just tossing the insects in the bottom. I know which one is best, but recently I've been trying to control the amount of food that they're getting. So I've been using the tongs more often to actually count, okay, this is how many worms, how many crickets I've given. And after maybe 4 or 5 insects, I will stop.
Mhm.
And then they can eat in a couple of days after that. And it seems to be maintaining their weight at a decent a decent
And
size.
then the big question would be, how do we know when is enough for them?
When is enough? Yeah.
I think also like we're always looking for the perfect way to take care of our
Right.
animals, and that's part of the problem, maybe.
Yeah. What's
Because
the
we should
perfect
not.
way to take care of a
No,
human?
there should
I mean,
not
you deny
be.
Rebecca from her chocolate at the end of the day.
Yeah, but then you need to deny. I mean, what I mean is actually nature is not perfect. What they have in nature
Yes.
is not perfect. So I noticed there was a weekend where I really had no time to take care of my reptile world, and I felt so bad about it. But actually, it was an excellent weekend for my animals because they had more time for themselves, and also because like suddenly they did not get so much.
So you
So
gave
I
the reptile
basically
peace and
like
quiet, and you're not willing to give me peace and quiet?
no. So the thing is, like, sometimes you just need to make it imperfect, and suddenly they get more excited about the food, and they come to the food. So I noticed that after that weekend, some of the animals that didn't eat that much, they suddenly ate like so much more. So maybe like giving them break, doing things that are like not perfect, is like the more natural way.
Yeah, Eyal, I just have to say, I spent only a few days with you. I'm surprised that you're wondering why Rebecca is not leaving you alone. I have only one thing to say: Panna cotta. Panna cotta will solve the problem.
The question is Rebecca not leaving Eyal alone, or is Eyal not leaving Rebecca alone?
Thank you
It's
for
it's
that.
bilateral.
You nailed it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Buddy just
Cool.
told me.
Is there any other topics that we think we should touch on before we wrap this up?
I think we will on Acanthosaura episode 4 would
Yes.
be after we have successful breeding of Lepidogasters. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Well,
And
we should
you're
definitely should
already-
not wait as long as we did between 2 and 3 to
Yeah.
to put out 4. But yes, it would be nice to have some.
But it would be
some-
very
something
interesting
happening.
to see my separation theories and how do they play out. I think I think and I hope internally that I'm done losing Acanthosaura Lepidogaster females.
Mhm.
But we shall see. We shall see.
My male Lepidogaster are considering adoption.
Your male
They're considering adoption because we all know that they won't get babies.
Breed as females, yes.
Yeah. is it our lineage? No, it's a wild caught.
No, I have one that belonged to Fadi and one that was bred by you. So they're two males. They're
Yes.
living together, but that's it. They'll never get babies, as we know. So they
The
can
one
adopt.
from me is a wild caught.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it wasn't.
Oh,
My
Yeah.
bad.
I'm not against another wild.
we're not against it. Let's say that.
Yeah, because that's one I got from a different source, and then the one that was your baby, you guys took back.
I'm not against it. Not so now my setup is my males are separate and my females are living in 3x3, 3x2x3.
Mhm.
And they're moving in, and very, very soon I'm giving up on my Anoli's Smallwoods project, and I'll have another 2x3. So I could expand my colony. I am shifting my focus to Lepidogasters. So having another colony is not out of the question.
Mhm.
And I keep my focus on the Natals.
Yes.
Mhm.
I will have I'll have one colony of Natals, and you will keep the focus, and I'll feed you sometimes, and
Yeah.
vice versa on the Lepidogasters.
That to me, that I don't know, I connect more the Natals than the Lepidogasters. That is
Mhm.
my favorite species
Mhm.
that I own. Like, I don't know, because I don't have that many. But yeah, so my challenge now is going to see what the next clutches are going to bring, because like I said, I haven't been lucky. I have a lot of die-offs with my babies, and I seem to be able to keep only 3 per clutch, which is a small number considering that they lay 15 each time. Well, they lay 20, and I've had 15 fertile and like only a few survivals. So I don't know if it's just because, like I said, we were moving, we couldn't spend as much time with the animals. Is it like a human mistake, or is it just something that happens with the species where there's a lot of eggs, but not, like only a few survive.
Mhm.
So that's my challenge. That's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next few attempts.
Yep. So the same would be for us with the Lepidogast, because we have the same problem. They're still Acanthosaura. It's just easier to contain in a house that I don't own,
Yeah.
where I need to move from time to time.
Yeah.
If I own the house, I would build like 3 enclosures that are 4 foot and let's go. But yeah, I don't. So
And you-
Lepidogastes it is, and I love them. It's like the Lepidogastes. The problem that we see with them is that the wild caughts are not great pets.
Especially females.
Retweet.
The wild caughts, the females would never ever like you, ever. I mean, they tolerate me. They don't like the handling. They won't stay on me. They don't hiss at me anymore, but they don't really want to be handled. The males are fun. They're okay, but they won't stay. The wild-caught female, the captive-bred females are like jumping on us.
We open the enclosure, they jump on us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Fadi, when your life settles down because you have like new job and
Yes.
you're going to try with
Not really
the
new anymore.
capras or matas,
Mhm.
is that your focus?
Yeah, I'm not. I have no idea. I have no idea where. Or first of all, I have no idea when my life will settle down. I feel like it's not going to happen anytime soon. But I would like
There's a generation
to.
gap between the 3 of us, JF.
Sorry.
There's a generation gap between the 3 of us. Fadi is from the generation that has no future. We are from a different generation that might have some sort of a future.
Yeah, I gotta keep hustling right now if I want to even consider buying a house. But I don't know. I want to try again for sure, but I don't know if I would at this time. Like if my Capra were to completely pass away, all of them, I think I would give it a bit of a break before I try it again, because I'm very tired of buying wild caught females and just having them die on me. So I have the pairs. I have a couple of pairs of Capra and I have the 1 pair of Armata for now, plus the baby and the male. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna keep, like, they're already all paired up. So if it happens, I will be beyond excited. But if it doesn't, they're a cool pet to keep. That I'm just happy having them for now. But I really hope that I want to stay in the Acanthosaura world as long as possible, and I want to keep having these conversations. So I hope something comes out of it, so I have more to contribute on the next one. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think we all agree that if anybody wants to get into the Acanthosaura world, not as a breeder, get yourself a male.
I
second that for sure. And a captive bred male if possible.
And that seemed to be the only thing I could produce. Captive bred male. So
perfect.
And you invest in captive bred, like, because if you think about it, you buy a wild, you don't know how old it is. It might survive a month, it might survive a year or 2.
Yeah.
And even less, right? I had a few that I got recently, and like I said, looked really healthy. And out of nowhere just crashed, died on me. And that was heartbreaking because, like Fadi's saying, it's frustrating getting animals that we're having a hard time keeping. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the population. So I feel the same way you do. It's the same as with the Lepidogasters. Right now I have the 2 males, but I haven't looked for a female because I haven't had the success that I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And then, I'm letting out because I have 3 little babies that recently hatched. I'm going to let them grow out and see what comes out of that. And then maybe in the future, I'll look into it. But at the moment, I'm going to let Eyal and Rebecca take care of the breeding efforts for the Lepidogasters.
Take the reins on this one.
Yeah. We have right now 9 eggs that are really about to hatch. I think like 2 weeks before hatch date.
No.
Expected? No more?
It's November, so 1 more month.
1 more month, yeah.
To go back to your question, you were asking how old the baby was. It just dawned on me it was like a January baby as well.
January baby.
So January this year.
Yeah,
January hatch or January the egg was laid?
January hatch.
January laid, there's no way that that egg is
No,
still in incubation.
Yeah, no, it's like we seem to be around the 160 days mark when it comes to the the
Yeah.
hatch time. A little bit less, a little bit more. Oh, and like there could be weeks before the first one. When the first one hatches and the last one hatches, there
Mhm.
could be weeks between that. So it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
Yeah, we
long
noticed that
time.
as well. Yeah.
And not all of them hatch. You candle them,
Mm.
all of them have babies in them, and then some of them decide not to come out.
We had
die
two
in the
that
egg.
started
That's
to
why
come
they lay
out,
so many,
and
right?
we couldn't.
Pardon? I didn't hear that.
We had two that started to hatch,
They
but
broke the
then
egg and died.
somehow they just didn't keep on going, and we found them just dead. Like,
Yeah, same thing happened here as well.
Yeah.
They
When you
Nature.
bring 15,
nature.
Exactly. Yeah, they're laying that many because they know that not all of them are going to
it's
survive.
45 babies a year. They'll be worse than roaches.
Yeah.
but then again, Eyal, it could be also same thing here. Maybe we're not giving the females when they're producing their eggs the proper supplements, and maybe that's why they're not all thriving.
Yep.
Like the first few eggs, because it seems, like I said, it seems to be that the first one that hatch are the strongest. Is it because they had, the opportunity to take the nutrients that they needed,
Could
and
be.
then the others, as you go closer to the end,
Interesting.
they
True.
don't, and that's why they hatch, and then you have a few at the end that that will pip or not come out of the egg at all.
Yeah, that the yolk wasn't good enough. Yeah.
Although our last one that hatched is like doing extremely well, and he's as big
Excellent.
as the first one, but the ones in the middle, the two in the middle, are
If only
struggling.
we knew somebody with a degree in biology.
Well, it's not only that. Like it's okay. Yeah.
It's been like 5 years. I don't remember anything.
Come on.
It's a testament to the education system in Canada.
Facts. And also, I think like I worked in everything but biology, so I don't even.
Yeah.
I'm in sales now. Please. That's funny. Yeah. I do wish I had stuck to it and gone into like some kind of lab work, purely just to like have some kind of that background knowledge on all of the stuff that we talked about. I feel like I could have had more to contribute, but it's never too late. We'll see.
But then again, it's like all vets do have that knowledge, and still they're like,
I'm still struggling to figure it out. Yeah, facts. And they have more knowledge than just a biology degree. Yeah, true. True.
and
Cool.
I mean, do I take that tiny thing to a vet? Having seizures, like what can they diagnose?
What's gonna do? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, awesome. On that note, JF, can you let everybody know where to find you?
Don't look for me. You can't find me anywhere. No, I'm kidding.
In the basement.
I'm
in Quebec.
hiding.
I slowed down on the social media platforms. I'm only you can only find me at Beauregard Reptile on Instagram. That's the only place you can see my my lizards. Other than that, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Threads. I'm not on Twitter. I've weaned off of all those platforms just for my sanity.
Fair. Awesome. Okay, so that link will be in the description. Eyal and Rebecca, where can people find the Responsible Reptile?
Online on Instagram, Responsible Reptile. We have a Facebook. Don't try. I mean, you send me a message on
No
there.
one cares on Facebook.
But I'm not maintaining it. It's like it's feeding off the parent company for very good reasons of sanity and political justice. I'm not on X. And then
You're gonna get the video canceled, Eyal. Just
we have a website as
He's
well.
going
we
to
have a
get canceled.
website
Yes.
with good care sheets, and
Awesome.
we are frequenting expos.
And
So
we'll
you can
be at the
find them
next
at the
expo.
expos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to meet Maurice in person, real life, probably this thing won't air until Sunday. So
Oh yeah, this I just realized the expo is this Sunday. This
Yeah.
episode will not be out before that expo, but
if
catch
you
them at
can
another
travel,
expo this year. Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't time travel, next expo.
Next expo, yeah, which I believe is either September or
Yeah,
October,
not the
something like
September
that.
one.
They're gonna
I think
take
it's
they're gonna take a
September
break for the
one.
summer, but you'll catch them at an expo near you soon enough.
Yes.
Soon enough. Awesome.
And we're
Everybody,
friendly. You can message us and find
Yes.
us and other things. So
I
is
can
Jeff.
confirm.
Jeff is friendlier than he seems.
I can confirm. Everyone in this chat except for
It's
myself
very
is
nice for
super
a French
friendly
person from Quebec.
and responsive.
Yeah, you're not too bad for someone from Ontario.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up before the Ontario versus Quebec war gets heated. Thank you all very much, first of all, for coming on and talking about Mountain Dragons. We need to do part 4 before it gets too long. Like this one, we can't wait this long again, even though it was my fault. But we still can't wait this long again. We will make part 4 happen very soon.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all Rebecca's fault.
She's learning from the
best. No, I'm just
Next
kidding.
one, we have to do it live. We have to be all together in one location.
I would actually love that. That would be great.
Well, you invited.
You invited. We have a big
I
basement.
will make you guys the best
Coffee.
beer you've ever tasted.
And the
they also
sandwiches
make-
that you make for the road are delicious as well.
Sandwiches too. Yes.
Perfect. So the
From
next
bread
one
I
will
made.
be at the Responsible Reptile base. I love it. Yeah. Cool. Thank you all very much. Thank you for listening, all the listeners. Hopefully your Mountain Horn Dragon projects are flourishing, and we will see you all in part 4.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
See you soon.
Always a pleasure.